Hi, Carolyn. Happy Earth Day.
Thank you. Happy Earth Day to you, my dear.
I wanted to talk about a few books of Boys Mills Press for Earth Day, and I think you have a few for Calkins Creek, right?
I do. I have two books I'd like to talk about.
Okay. My first is Siegel Soar by April Pulley Sayre, illustrated by Kasia Bogdanska. Siegel Soar, one of the things I love about this book is the way that it shows that seagulls are actually much more around the U.S. than I had ever thought. Like when I first started to work on this book, I thought of seagulls as just coastal birds, but it turns out that they're all across the United States, and they're not just on the coasts, but they're in landfills and farms and lakes and even in the desert. They're fascinating birds. You're a birder, right?
I am, and seagulls are usually found everywhere I travel to. So.
Yeah, you see them everywhere. So they're a creature that kids all over the country know and love and are familiar with. And this book also shows just how much they're smart, they're adaptable. It's a great way to talk about conservation. It's really a great Earth Day connection.
Talk about the illustrations. They're really beautiful.
Oh yeah, I love Kasia's work. They're just gorgeous. That's seagulls on a farm, around a lighthouse.
Yeah, it's just fabulous.
And then the text is very lyrical and beautiful, short but beautiful to read aloud with lots of interesting back matter too.
That's by April Pulley Sayre, right?
That's by April Pulley Sayre, the wonderful April Pulley Sayre.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I'd like to talk about Buzzing with Questions by Janice Harrington and illustrated by Theodore Taylor. Mm-hmm. And one thing we try to do at Calkins Creek is expose unsung heroes. And Charles Henry Turner, who was an African-American biologist and entomologist, I believe, really was that. And his contribution to science needs to be more well known. So that's what Buzzing with Questions hopes to do and expose kids to. But Charles was really curious about all kinds of things, from bees to spiders to wasps to tiny crustaceans. And he always asked questions, and he never gave up. That was his big deal. He faced prejudice and racism, but he really felt that biology would help people come together and appreciate the natural world. So Buzzing is really a perfect book for Earth Day because it sparks kids' curiosity about the world, like Charles Henry Turner, and makes them appreciate where they live.
STEM, curiosity, perseverance, and a lot of historical context.
Right, and there's nice back matter that readers can actually see what Charles Henry Turner looked like. He wasn't very well documented, but those pictures really offer an insight to the man and who he was. So from Buzzing with Questions, we go to Poison Ivy, right?
Poison Ivy, yeah.
Yeah.
3, Let Them Be. I actually am very grateful to this book. It is a great Earth Day book, partly because it shows how poison ivy is valuable. It's like one of the first plants that creatures can eat in the spring, and it talks about how animals are not affected by poison ivy, even though people are. People, for some reason, do get poison ivy, but animals can eat it and walk through it and have no problem. But I'm grateful to it, too, because it helped me discover that there was poison ivy in my yard.
Yeah, that's
so
always
it
tells
out. You about poison ivy, but it also, will teach kids how to recognize it and keep an eye out for it and stay away from it. And it talks about how it's essential to the environment in many, many ways. And it tells you also how you can, safely remove it.
Wasn't the artwork for that book done very exceptionally? Is it paper?
Yes, it's paper art by Robin Brickman. It's amazing. It's basically paper sculptures.
Yeah. One time I was vacationing in I think it was Great Barrington, and they had that book on display, I think for Earth Day, because I was up there in April. And I think she's from around there.
Yeah. Robin Brickman. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really good to see.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that you talk about poison ivy, and the next book I'm talking about is The Leaf Detective, which is a little bit, connected to that theme. And The Leaf Detective by Heather Lang, illustrated by Jonah Christie, is about Meg Lowman, who is the leaf detective. And she is still alive today and doing a lot of research. And she was always curious about what was on the treetops. And she's been called the defender of the treetops. But she also faced discrimination in the classroom and on the job because she was a woman. But again, like Charles Henry Turner, she persevered. And she found a way to get to the treetops and investigate what was there and expose people to that. And she really, in defending the treetops, she really told people, or exposed the benefits of what the rainforest and what a tree is really good for. So I thought I'd read the end of her book, the end of the book, because it really pertains to Earth Day. And it said, Meg used her voice to inspire people to save their rainforests, to save themselves, because to Meg, a tree is not just a tree. It's a shelter for animals and people, a recycler and a provider of water, a creator of food and oxygen, an inventor of medicine, a soldier against climate change. It is essential for life on Earth. So I thought that was a perfect way to end our Earth Day celebration. So thank you, Rebecca Davis, for sharing the two Boyd's Mills Press books, and thank you all for listening.
And thank you, Carolyn Yoder, for sharing the two Calkins Creek books. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.